a couple of you? Okay, excellent. So, on the last tour, we were at a bar in New Jersey, in Trenton, where all of the nicest, kindest, most polite people in the country come from. And I had this line in my speech. It's inconceivable, and by the way, I know what that word means. Yeah, all right, good. It's inconceivable that in this day and age, we're still doing this militarism thing where we dress up millions of gullible young men in silly costumes and have them meet in the middle of a field where none of them live to kill each other because they're wearing different colors. Can we just get over this already? And so this guy upstairs hears the distorted secondhand version of this from his buddy. Now, I hope I really get to meet this guy on the tour, because I've told the story a few times now, and he's going to come out and be like, that's not how it happened, dude. But we have video, all right? Now, I tell people, like, this guy was about 240 pounds. He gets bigger every time I tell the story, right? But some people are watching the video like, no, man, he was like 280, 300. This was almost a head taller than me, built like the Juggernaut. I mean, just a massive dude. And he comes down the stairs with his hold me back guys, with his crew, you know, like, hold me back, hold me back. And he comes down to confront me. If you have something bad to say about the military, we need to talk outside now. I'm like, I'm not a small dude, but this guy made me look tiny. I mean, I can tell. And we have video of this because enough people who were there for my event immediately lift up their phones and start making a video. And one of the best parts of the video is when this guy's talking to me, and he looks over his shoulder and then goes at all the cameras recording him. So I'm thinking, well, I got an event tomorrow. I really don't want to have to kick this guy's ass tonight, you know. I would have been a smear on the sidewalk. I found out this guy was not only an Iraq veteran, he was also a former cop. So I'm thinking, all right, feelings, needs, requests. Now, this process is very simple. If you're in any kind of confrontational conversation, this is just about maximizing the value of your exchange, even from a purely capitalist perspective. So it's not about feelings, it's about maximizing the value of an exchange. And of course, if feelings are getting in the way of that, it needs to be acknowledged. So if someone's coming at me angry, I want to acknowledge that. You know, if I'm talking to someone, I'm having a hard time communicating with you, I want to tell you, look, I'm feeling bad in some way because one of my needs isn't getting met. So I'd like to make a request of you to do something. And now when you get that request, you can tell I'm not trying to emotionally manipulate you. I'm coming at you honestly about how I'm feeling. And I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm inviting you to do something that's going to meet my needs and alleviate my negative feelings, right? It's very simple, but there's a lot of discipline in applying this consistently, removing judgment of other people and accusation from your approach. So this guy comes down ready to kick my ass. I'm thinking, okay, feelings, needs, requests. If you have something bad to say about the military, we need to go talk outside now. You sound very angry. Are you angry? Yeah, I'm angry. Well, that must not feel very good. That doesn't feel good, does it? No, it doesn't! But you see how already feelings acknowledged, it makes it a lot more difficult for him to want to hurt me now. And what I'm able to do is have a positive exchange about what I said as an intellectual criticism of the military, how it threatened his need for a sense of identity, and what it meant for him to be in the military. We had a little exchange where he's trying to say, oh yeah, well I was in combat here, and oh you were civil affairs, you probably were in the rear with the gear the whole time. And people ask me sometimes like about my public speaking skills, and they're really not anything special, but how I've gotten to this point, it's been a lot of practice. Like I'm not that talented, I'm not that quick. I was a theater kid growing up, I was in musicals. I was Mark in a chorus line. Prince Dauntless in Once Upon a Mattress. I sang in falsetto, like really. Yes? Awesome! Another musicals fan here. So, I'm the kind of guy who comes up with comebacks 15 minutes later all the time, right? Especially when it's like, you know, talking about libertarianism, you're like, oh, that meme, I wish I had just quoted that meme right then and had the perfect retort to that argument. But in this case, I got to bust out a line that I'd been sitting on for 15 years from middle school, okay? So this guy is way too much of a setup, okay? But so this guy's doing the, well, you weren't in combat as much as I was thing, and I got to say, look, dude, this isn't a dick measuring contest. And again, nonviolent communication, right? Get the feelings acknowledged and out of the way. We don't need to do this. I'm not trying to impress you with my military record or my combat experience. And so, while this guy came down the stairs ready to beat my ass, and even at the end of our exchange was unwilling to take a book, at the end of this one I went upstairs and said, look, you know, there's nothing wrong with being lied to. I can't ascribe you moral responsibility when you've been deceived, but it is cowardly to ignore the truth now that you're confronted with it. And as a result, he took a copy of the book. So I should say, one of the nice things about this book, one of the best endorsements we've ever had, it is banned in jails in the United States. Yeah, I started writing it when I was a kid. That's better than that, because we've had a few instances where we've sent it to people in jail, and we just go, oh, well, you never got it. Okay, well, no. But then there was one incident, we sent it to someone in Illinois and actually got a letter back as the publisher of this book from the warden on United States Department of Justice letterhead explaining why the book was banned in U.S. jails, or banned in that facility. And they have to, under their own, they have their own regulations for this, right? They have to follow the rules. And so they wrote me a form letter, and it said they have to say what part of the publication is the part that's in question. And there's nothing here that's like how to make weapons or how to escape prison, you know, just the mental prison. And so they put in the letter, entire publication is a threat to the good order, security, and discipline of the institution, and I could not imagine a better endorsement of this book.